On Friday of this week, we start the second half of 2016. First half of 2016 is in the books. And for a lot of you, it's been a great first half. For some of you, not quite as good. And for some of us, we need to pedal a little bit faster. It's just part of the deal. Okay? I wrote down here, one of the most important things that we need to be working on right now is we need to be working on strengthening our mindset. So I want to talk briefly about that. Briefly about the mindset. I wrote down here, there is a direct correlation between how positive we are and our success. There's a direct correlation between how positive we are and our success. Let me ask you guys a question. How often do you see me negative?
Never. None. Never.
Well, there's times, but not none, but hardly ever. Okay? You see, I believe it's not what happens to you that matters in this life. It's how you react to it. It's how you react to it. We have to do that with our customers in the marketplace today. I wrote down here, we need to stop spending time and energy on things you cannot control. You have to stop spending time and energy on things you cannot control. If the market's going up or the market's going down, or they have a vote in England or they don't have, and I'll tell you something, the vote in England caught everyone off guard. Big money was betting the other way. How do I know this? It's the way the markets reacted the next day. It wasn't in their figures. They reacted dramatically. They had no idea that England was going this way. They thought it was going that way. Look, I don't understand it. I don't know enough about it, but they caught them off guard. But the truth is that our real estate, unless we have to sell it today, doesn't matter what it's priced. You don't have to sell it. If your cash, you don't have to do anything major with it. Don't do anything with it. Unless you have futures contracts for oil. Does anybody here have futures contracts for oil? Does anybody have futures contracts for gold, to deliver gold today? No? No, I'm just checking. Sorry? Cooking oil? I have a futures contract for Crisco. Unless we have that, and look, I don't. I know people that do. You know, I know some very, very big players that this is affecting positively and negatively, and they have to move and they have to do some things quickly, but we don't. We don't. Thank goodness we don't. Okay? We don't have to worry about that stuff. So stop spending time and energy on things I cannot control. Okay? I wrote down here the next point. If you want to become strong, you have to quit comparing yourselves to others. If you want to become strong, you have to quit comparing yourselves to others. The fact that you have not made a sale this week and somebody else has made 2 or 3 doesn't matter. What matters is that you go out and you get a listing appointment and you go do your deal. Because in order to do, here's what I figured out a long time ago. If your goal is to do 5 listings this month, okay, in the next 30 days, your goal is to do 5 listings this month. How many do you need to get this week to reach your goal? You have to start. I need 1. And when I get 1, I'm going to do what? Go for 2. What we do is we keep thinking of the 5, and we forget about what we really need to do is get the 1. We have to get 1. 1 listing. Now, go get the 1. Do whatever it takes to go get 1 listing. Do whatever it takes to go get 1 buyer sale. Do whatever it takes to get 1 of your listings sold, but it's 1. When that one's done, locked in, put into escrow, then what's your job? To go do what?
Get another one.
Go do 2. Go do the second one. Okay? And that's how you'll get to 5. But worrying about getting to 5 without doing 1 is not going to happen. Do you guys get that? Don't make yourselves crazy with that. I wrote down here, stop resisting change. Stop resisting change. In mindset, stop resisting change. Is the market changing? Hello? How's the market changing today?
I don't think it's changing yet. I don't know.
The market is what?
Plateau.
The market is flat. Okay? So that's a different market than we had, let's say, 12 months ago, where the market was slightly rising a little bit. You know, stuff was selling really, really fast, $200,000 listing, fly off the shelf, probably still is. But stuff was moving a little bit faster, moving out of here a little bit quicker, right? Maybe today it's, you see, today there's no, write this down, urgency in the marketplace. There's no urgency in the marketplace. The market's not soaring sky high where everybody's trying to get in, and it's not falling fast where everybody's trying to get out. It's flat. There's no urgency. So if I buy a house today or I don't buy a house today, or I get a loan today or I don't get a loan today, then there's not any real urgency in the marketplace. So therefore, the clients that are driving you crazy, the ones that say, I'd like to buy, I want to buy, but they don't have to buy, are making you crazy, right? So we want to be focused on the have to buys, not the want to buys, all right?
Is this something you would not say to a client, though? I mean, would you tell a seller?
No.
You wouldn't tell the seller that. The seller asked me, I've heard the market's, that it's not a good time for sellers right now.
It's a great time. Here's the thing. Here's what it is. It's not a great time to sell or it's not a great time to buy. Let me ask you, Mr. Jones, why are you buying or why are you selling? Here's where we make a mistake, okay? If they're trying to time the market, they don't really have to sell generally. So I ask them the question, do you have to sell your house? Do you have to sell because it's a job transfer? Do you have to sell because your loan is becoming due? Do you have to sell because it's too small for you? Or maybe it's upstairs and you can't. Why do you have to sell? See, we ask the wrong questions, I think, sometimes. We think when they say, I'm thinking of, or is this a good time to sell? We immediately go into, of course it's a good time to sell. Let me put it on the market for you right now. Am I kidding? No. Am I even exaggerating slightly? No. I might even be under-exaggerating, because that's what we do. Oh my God, let me come over there, list your house, put it on the market. Well, but I want to get $50,000 more. I want $100,000 more. Oh. Have to sell, want to sell. So you have to keep asking the motivation of the client. If the client's motivated, it's a great market. If the client's not motivated, nothing. Go ahead.
So in a case like that, you just not take the listing? If it's a not motivated seller that wants to work for it?
So the question is, in that case, if it's a non-motivated seller, should I take the listing? So I will answer it this way. It depends on the degree of motivation, okay? And we have to learn how to identify the higher degrees of motivation, etc. Here's the example I would give you.
Motivation changes.
And motivation does change. And what we think is high motivation today may not be that high. So if the client said, I want to sell my house when my husband retires, then I would ask the question, when does your husband retire? If he retires next month and they can't afford the payment because it's a financial change, then that's higher motivation. If he's not going to retire for 6 months and they haven't decided where they want to move yet, and they have 3 or 4 options to move, the motivation is lower. Same motivation, but different time frames. Does that make sense? So we have to learn how to ask a lot more questions. A lot more questions in this. I wrote down here, stop worrying about what is fair and what is not fair. The ability to earn money is in direct correlation to your ability to help people. To help people. It's not fair, it's not unfair. The market is what it is. We see people in all markets, some of them starving to death, some of them making a fortune. What's the difference? The difference, in my opinion, is the questions they ask. And they're looking for have to sells rather than want to sell. Because a want to sell, you could be busy with want to sells, but they're going to run you around the block and drive you crazy, use your gas, your energy, because that's one of the things that we have to protect too. If you show property to a lot of wanna sells, or you go on a listing appointments to a lot of wanna sells, and you can't lock it down, or you do lock it down, and the buyer's putting in low offers, or the seller's raising the price, so it's out of the, you're never going to get the offer through. You have some of those clients, right? And you're never going to, no one's going to make an offer on an overpriced property, or hardly, and you're not going to get the transaction. So if you had 8 of those, it'd be nice to have 8 buyers, what you think are highly motivated buyers to work with, and it'd be nice to have 8 listings to work with. But if they never went together, what would happen to your energy over a month or 2 or 3? Hello? No, then you get to the point where, I don't want to do this anymore, right? I don't want to do this anymore. And then when that really good have-to-sell buyer or have-to-sell seller comes in your sights, you have no more energy, excitement, or enthusiasm to do anything with them because you've lumped everybody into that box. And that's what you guys have been doing in some cases, right? Say yes.
Yes.
I'm telling you, what we just did in those last 6 or 8 seconds, if you got that, you're going to have an amazing second half of the year because you're spinning your wheels on the want-to-bes as opposed to the have-to-bes. Do you guys get it?
Yeah. Yes. Right on the dot.
Okay, so let me wrap it here. I'm going to go through this really quick. Activities is the hardest part of real estate, getting into a rhythm or routine of production. Okay, so I need you to spend at least the next 90 days focused on working on your activities and the rhythm. Now, Clemens said it really well. She said, what maybe you have to do is go to a different office, go to a different location, work someplace else so that you can feel what's happening. Now, a lot of you have a desk and location here, and you immediately go to that. But a few of you work in one of the other offices, come here, make phone calls from here. You have a clean desk. Do you realize I don't have an office and I don't have a desk? I don't have an office and I don't have a desk out of all of these offices and all of these desks. And you know what the neat thing is? When I go, I take my briefcase, I take my laptop out, I put my headpiece in, I put my mouse in, and I plug my computer in, and my world is right there on the computer, and I don't have a bunch of stacks of paper and notes around me and things that distract me and send me off in another path. Okay? Do that for yourselves. If you don't want to go to another office, go to another desk. Just you 4 go work over there, and those 4 will come over here and work. I'm telling you, it will help you on any given day or time. We get stuck in front of that. So I wrote down here, the prospecting I'm involved with, what we need to do is work on these activities. We need to work on the prospecting I'm involved with. We need to know the market better. The better I know what sellers want, the better I will become at pricing property. That means you have to know your properties, i.e., what do you need to be doing? Well, 4 of you got it. Okay, we'll move right on. I wrote down here, lead follow-up creates a transaction. Now, I've said this a number of different ways, but prospecting gets you what? Gets you a lead. Prospecting doesn't get you an appointment. Lead follow-up gets you what? An appointment. Stop getting that out of order. You're prospecting looking for an appointment. Don't do that to yourself. Prospect looking for a lead, and then do the follow-up to get the appointment. Next thought, recognize how much you can get out of each day when you actually work 8 hours. Challenge. Here's an interesting challenge. Take a stopwatch. We used to do this all the time. Rather than see how much time you're prospecting, first take a look and see how much time you're actually working in real estate. Which includes prospecting, which includes previewing, which includes script practice, which includes sitting in this meeting. That's all working in real estate. But it's not talking to your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your brother, okay? It's not driving to all kinds of crazy places that we tend to drive to that we really don't need to be to. We're not spending 8 hours working in real estate. We're just not. Think about it. But what if you did put a grade 8 in? 5 days a week. What if you did that? A grade 8, 5 days a week. You really put 40 hours in to this business 5 days a week. How could that change what's going on in your business? How could that change what's happening there? So I have a bunch of other stuff I want to talk about, but I want to go back to to the part that I talked about at the beginning. What Franklin Delano Roosevelt told us, because this is where we have to end up. This is where our mindset has to be. All right? We are in the greatest business of the world. There's never been anything else that's better than this business. All of you that have real estate licenses in this right now have the lottery ticket. You have the winning lottery ticket because you can make as much money as you want in this business. In the second half of this year, it's going to be amazing for those of you that put the time, effort, and energy in. This is a fantastic business. Mindset is going to make the difference for you as you go forward for the rest of this year. So Delano Roosevelt said, real estate cannot be lost or stolen, nor can it be carried away. Purchased with common sense, paid for in full, and managed with reasonable care, it's about the safest investment in the world. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the truth. Go out and share that with your past client and sphere, and you will have a fantastic week. Thank you very much.